Good morning, Bob Hui here. I'm with my brand new friend Corliss, and I wanted to introduce you to her. She is taking the speaking circuits and the org industry by storm. She's creating a lot of buzz, including in my house here, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to have a conversation so that you could get to know her as am I. So, Corliss, thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Oh, I thank you for that lovely introduction. I appreciate it so much. It's really a pleasure to be here, truly.
Well, it's interesting. It's like you were saying. I feel like I know you because I was just on your website and checking you out and going, oh, this is an interesting lady. I mean, this is going to be a fun conversation. So I'm going to ask you some questions that I've asked all the other joint venture speakers on our things, and we'll give you a chance to just respond, and that'll give people a chance to get to know you a bit. Other than then they hopefully they'll go to your website and check you out, and hopefully they'll even say, hey, can you come and speak for our group? Because that's part of the purpose of this. So
Sure,
let me
that'd be
let
great.
me let me ask you the first question. How did you get started in speaking, or why did you get started in speaking?
Oh, interesting. It's been a slow and long process, I would say, because I didn't initially start thinking I would be a speaker. I come from direct sales, so I come from that world. I kind of fell into a career in direct sales where I was introduced to a product that I really liked and decided that I would be a rep for a short period of time. As a matter of fact, my initial goal was to do it for 2 weeks. And I ended up becoming a 28-year career. So obviously something
Wow.
happened and changed there. But it really introduced me to public speaking because I had to do demonstrations. And when I started doing these demonstrations, I have to tell you, I was so nervous. I was unsure of myself, certainly wasn't confident in that space. But after 27 years of doing more than 100 presentations a year for small groups and then becoming one of the top people in my company nationwide, I really grew in confidence and really recognized that the more that, well, initially, actually, I should back up just a touch here because initially, it was really, I joined this company thinking it would just light my life. Like I started for my own purposes, right? And then as I started doing these demonstrations, started meeting people, started introducing people to the business, they joined my team. I started coaching and mentoring them. What I really started to kind of grasp and the whole concept was that no matter what we do for a living, each and every one of us underneath has belief systems, we have goals that we want for our lives, we have mindsets that we need to overcome, limiting beliefs. And I started actually coaching and mentoring people in my business through speaking and through working with them one-on-one and in group settings. And I ended up finding out that this was actually a way for me to light lives. So as I grew my business and that purpose grew, I started, growing to the top of the company. And then they started featuring me in big speaking arenas like I went from, a room of 6 people to a room of 2,000 people. And that's where I really felt like I came alive because this was a place that I could really impact people and I could really help make a difference. And that's really kind of the journey of it and how it's grown to where I am today, starting my own company and branching out into my own speaking topics.
Wow. Well, that's exciting, and the thing you mentioned is the best way to get good at this is to get in front of people.
Hmm.
I've been fortunate. I've written a few books on speaking, including the one in the background. That's it. That's its ninth edition, and I've got some good comments on it. But I tell people, read the book, but get up and practice. You're going to get
Yes.
good at this by getting good at this,
Hmm.
and it's not something you read the book and say, okay, got it figured. Just like sales, you get good at it by actually getting in front of prospects and asking that question. So, can we book you? Can we get you going? A
Yeah.
lot of people are afraid to ask.
Yes, and that's so true. I think that confidence comes with doing. That's just
Yeah.
the way that it is. And for me, like initially when I started speaking, I was kind of forced to do it. I wasn't really excited about that part of it, but I did get more comfortable. I got better at it. And then as I started meeting people and seeing the difference it could make if I was to contribute to them, whether it be speaking in a small group or in a large group or one-on-one, I started to gain more confidence and purpose behind the work that I was doing. And that's really kind of where it ended up leading me, I guess, because in 2017, so although I've been speaking for now, it's like 30 years, the first 25 years was in my direct sales organization. And it was only in 2017 that I started my company, because really what happened was I just started feeling this burning desire that I wanted to impact people on a bigger scale. And I didn't want it to always have to lead back to my direct sales organization, you know,
Gotcha.
like when I was coaching, mentoring, speaking to people in direct sales, it was always, that was the vehicle to come back to. And it just had to always be connected to that. So as I grew and evolved and started, you know, feeling this nagging feeling, I guess is what I would call it, that I just want to do more. I
That
want to
little
do
tap on
more.
the shoulder saying, hey, no,
Yeah. Yeah. And I just didn't want it to have to be, oh, there's my puppy. Sorry.
it's okay. It's real life.
Um, yeah, real life. I guess what happened was I started the company thinking I just want to impact more people.
Okay.
And I don't want it to have to be connected to direct sales. So that's where I started my company thinking no matter what people do for a living, I want to contribute to them. And that's where Corliss Co was born from.
That's so cool. That is so cool. So let me ask you another question. Because you've been doing this now for a while, both with your background and since 2017. What do you think your clients get when they engage you?
Oh, you know, I'm going to share a story with you about a speaking engagement that I did in Assiniboia, Saskatchewan. So Assiniboia is about 6 hours from me where I live, and I traveled to this community, and they had done it for Mental Health Week. They wanted me to come there to talk about being the best you, because that's really what I love to do, is to help people grow into the best that they can be and to live and lead their best lives. That lights me up. That's my passion. So I went down and I did this speaking engagement, and there was hundreds and hundreds of people there. It was packed. There was men and women and children and everybody in between. It was this community event. It was really quite a magical time. So I did the presentation, and at the end, and this is a true story, I was so taken back because I went to put my microphone down after I finished, and the entire room erupted in standing ovation, cheering, applause. It was so beautiful. And throughout that entire evening, people were lined up to talk with me, and they were saying things like, I haven't felt this inspired. I didn't really realize that I have that power. I didn't see that I had control in my own life. It was just so great. But
Wow.
as we were waiting for people, I'm so sorry, Bob. I don't know
No,
why he's doing that or what he's doing.
because
Do you
you're on
want me
an
to, do you
interview.
want me to stop and go tell him to
No,
stop?
no,
We'll
I'm
keep,
just it's okay.
okay, okay. Sorry, everybody.
This
I
is
don't
real. This is real life. Don't worry about it.
know. Okay.
In my case, my cats come wandering around occasionally.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's usually sleeping. I don't know what he's doing. Anyway, so this elderly lady, so actually I'll back up. So I was signing books, and then all of a sudden this little girl come and stood right, and she kind of pushed her way in and stood right in front of me in front of the table. And she stood there for a second, and I looked up at her and I said, hey, did you need something? And she said, I just wanted to tell you I'm not going to be mean to myself anymore.
Wow.
It was so, it just touched my
Oh,
heart. Her mom was there beside her. And I was like, that's what this is about for me. This is about
mhm.
helping not just children, but
Yeah,
everyone realize that we can be kind to ourselves, and we should be kind to ourselves, and that it's okay to be imperfect, and
yeah.
that we have more control over who we are and what we do. So, and then shortly after that, about 10 minutes later, this elderly lady pushed her way through. She literally pushed her way through. And she took her cane and she kind of pushed her way. And can you believe that she comes up to me? She touches my face like this and she says, I just want to say, God bless you, dear.
See,
So,
that's
what
the
do
kind of
people
stuff
get?
that you can live a month on something like that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. But that's part of it is where, I think sometimes you see some feedback where you see some results,
Mm,
and that validates what you're doing. I mean, this can be in some cases can be a very lonely and challenging business to be in. And
it
when
sure
and when you
can.
get stuff like that, you go, okay, that's why I do this. All
Exactly.
right, well, let me ask you another question again, and this is one I've asked all of our speakers. Do you have an ideal client? In other words, is there somebody you really like to work with that you'd like to reach out and say, hey, hire me?
Yeah. I think that's such a great question because in my world, like personal development is really what I do. I have a big passion for growing people. And that means that the niche is really large. It's like it's not specific to one person. And I recently just went through a kind of a rebrand of my company. I was working with this marketing company and they asked me the question of like, who do you serve? And that
Mhm.
was easy because I serve people who want to be their best. I work with people who are motivated to do more, to be more, to show up as their best, to make an impact. They want to make a difference. That's who I'm really passionate about working with. But it's not niche specific as far as a
Mhm.
demographic goes. And then they said to me, who don't you work with? And I was really taken back by that question. That one was not easy for me to answer because I feel like personal development is for everyone. But what I realized is that I actually do have people that I don't work with. I don't work with people who don't want to, who aren't motivated to do more, to be more, to show up better, that are okay with status quo. Who I really feel like I can work with and make a difference for is for people who see personal development as kind of a gateway to living a great life, and that when you grow yourself and you improve yourself, then you're gonna, your family life will be better, your home will be better, you'll go to your workplace and you'll be a different person showing up there and you'll impact people. It really kind of filters into every aspect of your life: home, career, community. And that's who I work with. And I don't work with the people who simply don't care about that are just okay with just how life is and don't want to be more or do more.
Okay. Have there been organizations that you've enjoyed working with that you'd like to do more people in their industry, those kinds of things?
Oh, yes, yes. Like I've done a lot with nurses now. Like I've done with psych nurses. I've done with SAS Crop Insurance Corp. Of course, I'm a farm girl, so I can really speak to that because I know the background of farming. I know what it's like. I know how important farmers are, and all of the kind of industries that support that. I'm very much connected to anybody who's serving other people, and I help them take care of themselves so that they can serve others. So between, nurses and care homes and teachers and farming communities, agriculture, I would certainly say that those are the ones that I enjoy the most. Although the banking industry has been something that I've been very fortunate to have an opportunity to contribute to, and it's been wonderful as well.
There you go. See that opens it up a little bit so that if somebody is watching this, they go, "Hey, I know somebody in banking, or I know somebody that's in a nurses association." Those kinds of things. So
I'd
you
like to
just
add
you
something there actually. I have a perspective about professional development to personal development. And I
yeah
think that this really is where the what industry I might, or company or organizations I might support best would be interested in, because my perspective on professional development is that it's very important. I
yeah
mean, we need to develop ourselves as professionals to be able to do our jobs well and to stay up to date and current, with changes. I think professional development obviously is important in our education. But
yeah
I also see personal development as equally as important
mhm,
because, from my philosophy, if you develop a person, that person brings that to their profession.
yeah
And we all know what it's like to be around someone who is more satisfied, happier, more content, more fulfilled, connected to a purpose bigger than them. They're a better team player. They bring a different energy to the workplace. So although professional development is important, personal development is as well. And I think that I would probably be best suited to the organizations that are really committed to the people that work in their organization, because
yeah
that's really what I do is I develop the people.
yeah And I think there's a market for that in terms of people who are willing to invest in the development individually. Like, for example, I was hired by a funeral company to work with one of their managers in Edmonton, and I coached him for about a year because, just to help him be better in terms of interacting with the people he managed. And the head office in Toronto actually hired me to work with this man to help him develop. He was a good worker, good guy, but he wasn't great in that one area. So we would meet on a regular basis, and we just had conversations about how do you do this and what did you do. And they saw some change because he started getting that he needed to be more interactive with the people that he was leading, and he was more satisfied. Obviously, the people that were paying the freight were satisfied because they extended the contract for another period of time. So, but you never know where something you're doing brings value to an organization until sometimes people ask you.
So true.
For example, we'll talk about it maybe outside of this interview, but one particular organization here in Canada put me to work, and for about 5 years they paid my mortgage because I didn't know what I was going to do for them that year, but they'd have some project for me working with their VPs or their president or helping them write a book or starting a sales training program online for them or something. And it was just like I was the go-to person. Hey Bob, can you help us with that? Yeah, sure. Okay, boom. and it was fun. It was fun. And their president got headhunted to a group in the States, a furniture thing, and he phoned me up and he said the company he was with, he said, is Art Van using the secret selling tips? And I said no, and he said they're not going to be unless you come visit me. Which is a nice way of saying come visit me, I'll give you a contract. So I said, well, I'm coming back from Europe next month, maybe I can drop in. And so we did. It was a nice little $10,000 drop in. So just because he knew me and he wanted to see something happen with his organization like we had done with the one here. I mean, we went in less than a year and a half, we went over $1 billion a year retail sales. So it was fun. I like the challenge. It's fun to work with people and see them grow. And that's part of what this is helping people grow their markets and reach people. So let me ask you, you've already shared a few of your success stories. And I think that's the kind of stuff that people who watch this are interested in terms of, okay, who is this person? What have they done? How will that impact me? But do you have something else you'd like to share with people who have to find this video?
Yeah. Yes, I do actually, because I would say that I mostly serve women. I'm really about women empowerment, not that the tools that I share don't impact men and that they won't serve them. It's just that it's kind of just naturally, I guess, gravitated towards that I serve women, probably because I am a woman. My stories, I'm a woman. So I think a lot of the stories that I might share would connect mostly with women. However, it's not just specific to that, but some of the things that I've ended up developing, because as I speak from stages, whether it be a virtual stage or an in-person stage, what I realized is that I wanted to develop something that would support people after the fact. So I did, obviously I have my book, and that's been a tool and a resource for people afterwards, in between speaking. But I also developed these challenges, and these challenges are just, they honestly surpassed every expectation that I had for people. And basically what it is, a recorded video message from me every single day for people who join the challenge when the challenge is running. And every day they get it delivered into their inbox. So I'm actually speaking on the video directly to them. And then it's delivered to their inbox every day for some of the challenges are 7 days, some of them are up to 21 days. And that is something that really delivers the message, I guess, of what I do. It really is about growing and empowering people and helping people develop an understanding of themselves to live and lead their best lives. And the challenges are something that I'm really proud of. And the success stories out of that, literally there's hundreds of them. When I say it surpassed every expectation, I really mean it. I had a vision of what I wanted it to do for people, and it surpassed everything. And it's actually ended up building a really big, beautiful community of people where they learn to grow and evolve together. They're all like-minded, so it's quite a magical thing when you bring people together like that. So that's something else that I offer, and I'm really proud of. And I think another maybe non-traditional way of speaking, but I'm certainly speaking there as well.
And my guess is that you probably have some information on your website about all of this.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it's all there. It's all there. And whatever challenge is running, it's there as well. Like I've watched women come in, I did some free coaching actually. So I have a 3 day session. Actually, anybody who goes to my website can get that free coaching session. So there's 3 days of free coaching on how to lead your life with your thoughts, decisions, and actions. And I've actually just made that replay available. So anybody can get the replay and watch the coaching and, learn. There's tons of value in it. There really is. And I've watched women like someone like Dale DeBuzak, as an example. She came into my life through the free coaching program because she was at a crossroads in her life. She was struggling with her next move in her life. She was having some physical challenges, which was playing on her emotionally. And she was just honestly really struggling. So she went looking and she found me through the three days of free coaching. And from there, in 1 year, like from the free coaching to the taking the challenges to taking my master class, she has completely evolved, and she is so much better in both her mental, emotional, physical. It's filtered into every area of her life. She's actually going to end up becoming a coach through my company, and that is
Oh,
all in a way.
exciting.
Like she has had just a complete turnaround in everything in her life. And if Dale was here, she would tell you that it's just been so empowering and truly life-changing for her.
That's exciting.
It
That's so
is.
exciting. Well, we could keep talking for a long time on this, but I want to keep these initial videos shorter so people will actually take the time to watch them and get to know you a little bit, and hopefully then go check out your website, and even better, pick up a phone or click on their keyboard and say, "Hey, can you help me?" And so I want to thank you so much for taking the time to be with me today. I look forward to additional conversations with you as we grow together on this journey, and as we get to know each other and help the people that we help. So again, thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you for your patience as Charlie was barking. I so hope into the audience, anybody who's watching, I hope you'll be patient with that. We're real people. It's real life. And
That's
I guess it just happens, right? So
yeah, real
thank
people
you.
with real pets. What can I say?
Yeah, yes, exactly. Thank you all so much for your time and for the chance to share my story a little bit with you. Thank you, Bob.
All right, thank you.